very closely this promise, because it's really important. It's very difficult for you as military to
intervene.
Yeah, and at the same time it's very difficult for you to ask for better situation for women, because we have a structural problem in our societies that is gender inequality. So thank you for your efforts as well. Support to women's organization, not only with money, but with dialogue, with visibility, with exchange and contact with embassies, and technical support and mediation training. My colleagues from the Ministry of Defense, my military colleagues, has proposed in a meeting, for example, that women in the local organizations in a conflict or in a pre-conflict state could be gender advisors to the military, because they know very well the problems, the needs, and it's important not only to take their needs, but to know how to resolve these problems, these situations. Financial support, of course. And support to women mediators in peace process. I think this is a very good proposal. Norway and Swedish are implementing a network of women mediators, and they are training women in the field. So I think it is a good possibility to networking between us, just to identify some women able to participate in the process, in the peace process, because sometimes I used to hear there are no women. There are no women. There are no. Where are the women? Well, the women are, but sometimes people who decide who must be on the table are not women. So and they have not the names, and the names don't emerge naturally. So this kind of network to help to identify women mediators and enhancing their visibility, I think is a really good idea. So think globally and act locally, and promoting leadership and gender equality. At the same time, we are thinking about 1325. Many thanks.
Thank you. Nice, short, applicable messages. And once you remembered Mr. Guterres, the Secretary General, I suppose, especially the Bulgarian part of our conference here, knows the She movement for the Secretary General. There was a global movement this year to elect a woman in the United Nations. The Bulgarian was one strong candidate, but of course, women lost.
Georgieva and Irina Bukova. Yeah.
Let's hope for the next time. But we have also, as women, network and support movements like that. And there are some strong international organizations, Women in International Security, for example, I don't know if you're aware of that, that is a good player in the field. And if you don't have a chapter in your country, start one. Questions? Comments?
Can you just check if it turned on?
Yeah, I did it. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a question regarding leadership. Leadership. Once again.
Be a leader and talk without the microphone.
I don't need a microphone.
No, exactly.
Okay.
No.
Can I? It's back. No, it's not working. No, regarding leadership, you said that we need to convince leadership in order to first convince leadership of our cause and the worthiness of our cause. And once we have that, the rest will follow.
I'm sorry.
How in Spain do you convince your leadership, which is mainly male right now, to be in favor of this cause of yours? Because once you have that, the accountability of leadership, the rest will follow.
Yeah. Well, this is not an agenda of a short time. I always say that the gender equality goal is for the medium and long term. It's really difficult, and when you don't go ahead, you go back. And it's always the same. We used to be a party government some years ago, well, we have not now this and this is a strong message for all the society. But how we convince? Well, we have this year, these 2 last years, an opportunity with our government. It was a member of the national of the Council of Security in United Nations, and they received the presidency in October last year, so the month of the anniversary of the 1325 resolution. And it was a huge opportunity for civil society, for women's organizations, even for think tanks, to ask the government to play a role and to promote this cause, not only in the Security Council of the United Nations, but as well in the national institutions. I think it's not easy, absolutely. I mean, it's not easy, and you never can't give up. I mean, it's not resolved. It's a daily work, it's a daily task. But of course, for example, we have improved in the Parliament. We have now exactly 40% of women in Parliament and 60% men in Parliament. It's not enough because they are not chairwomen of the commissions. There are 6 or 7 women chairing the commissions. In the Parliament, 11 or 12 men. And the important one, of course, are chaired by men. And well, it's always the same, and I would call it, say this morning, data is essential, because if you have the figures, if you can offer to the society the data, and they realize about the real situation, you can transform. This is not a magic formula, absolutely. It's a very hard and long-term task. But we are more now, I think. Even we have some men on board in this task. And gender equality has been during years a no purpose, a no goal, and now it's a goal, because government, institutions, international organizations have realized that without gender equality, it's very difficult to resolve other important issues as peace and security. Antonio Guterres said on Monday the same thing. Without women, it's not possible to build peace. So what is the first time that a lot of people, a lot of leaders, not only women, but men as well, are saying publicly, we need to take our women on board in a senior position. So it's a long answer because it's not a magic one. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
If you allow me, I will just, it's not particular to you question, but maybe gender advisor from NATO could answer us. You mentioned how it's important to have women in peace processes. Uh, and I know that it's important. But still, at least 20 years we are actively speaking about that. What is visible is that we exactly have no women during that processes, or they are not so visible.
Yeah, because there are only 9% in all, 9% of women in
And
all
now-
the
yeah,
processes.
exactly.
This is-
And now I'm asking international community or international organization, and NATO for sure is that right. How come that, for example, NATO or UN not strictly ask during that processes where the women are on the table or around the table? So if we speak, for example, how many of Afghan women, because Afghan is in focus, how many of Afghan women are sitting around the table speaking about peace process in that country? And how come that, for example, these days we have no data? How many of women are sitting in Congo or in Mali or in Somalia speaking about peace? And this is
Or in
our
Syria.
agenda. Or Syria, because we have no chance to see any of them. And it's not about tradition, for sure it's not about tradition. It's just
About
men-
power.
Exactly,
It's about power.
because men are in
That's
the
why
role
we have
of to provide
2246
peace.
now.
So what is the role of NATO or a NATO gender advisor or people who are leading that organization when we are sitting together to say, okay guys, thank you very much, where the women are? Sorry.
May I add there that that's why we have 2246 now. 15 years later, we have another resolution.
We have a sixth resolution.
Because apparently
after
none of the
2025.
previous ones were actually implemented.
And if you
It's
allow,
wishful thinking.
exactly, if you allowed me, I argue very much. If you have sixth resolution after 1325, it means for myself that we are not able to implement the first one. And that we are just making, how we call it, spin.
But
of
then
that
don't feel bad,
story.
we also have the Millennium Goals.
Millennium Goals. I'm very proud. My country was 19th in the world who made a national action plan for implementation of that resolution. We are at the end, next year, 2017, we are finishing second national action plan. So we are going with third one. So I'm very proud what women in my country did. No thanks to men, just thanks to the women.
Yeah.
But a very bad connection between men and women express what's happened these days. So please, I would like to have answer from NATO.
I cannot speak up on behalf of UN, but I will speak on behalf of NATO.
Yes.
Having the women around the table, that's something that we are looking for as well. We are trying to manage, and the way we are working as an alliance of 28, soon to be 29 nations, is a consensus. 28 nations make consensus. And there is the other part of the deal that we encourage. We don't say you have to do, because we are always working as an alliance of 28 nations. So we also are trying to, with appointed, I'm sorry, I'm not going to use the microphone. But we have, since 2012, appointed person, a special representative for women, peace and security, NATO ambassador. Ambassador status is quite high. Part of this part of ambassador's job is also to encourage the nations to have more women at their national delegation at NATO, and also encourage the NATO leadership to have more women. Just a month ago, the Deputy Secretary for the first time was appointed a female, Rose Gottemoeller. I think that's a great step forward, and it's a great example. I hope it will be an example for the others that we meet around the table for the discussion. And more and more often happens now that there are meetings between NATO, bilateral meetings between NATO and other nations, partner nations, the member nations, and the side of NATO is full occupied by women, because there is the Deputy Secretary, there is the advisors, and the assistant, and there is a full table of women. So it's happening. Everything needs a time. I hope that NATO will be the fastest in the timeline, but it is a process. And as I said, we are at the beginning.